Hello and welcome. My name is Samuel Ray, also known as the Scuff Doctor, Dr. Sam. And, Virtua Fighter is a series that's very near and dear to my heart. Ever since I played Virtua Fighter 4 Evo back on the PlayStation 2, I loved the series. And honestly, after the direction that the fighting game genre has gone over the last, I would say, 7-ish years, honestly, it's one of the last mainstays or last holdovers that I have for the kind of gameplay I enjoy out of the series. Or not the series, but the genre. So, I wanted to take a quick look because I never really did a reaction to this video about adjusting the game balance of Virtua Fighter 5 after 13 years. That's a lot of time for a fighting game to get balance changes. So I want to take a look and see what they had to say about that. And then there was new footage, very, very short bit of footage released that points out some early development gameplay of the upcoming Virtua Fighter 6. So let's take a look at this game balance adjustment first, and then we'll check out that snippet from the early development. I played so much Virtua Fighter 5 with friends back in the day. So what pressed the most was the quality of the characters' moves. Pursuit of realism is what defines Virtua Fighter. Okay. Started on the first game. Now, like I said, I started on the fourth. Well, the best version of the fourth. Tactics, depth, yeah. The Japanese do have a certain way of talking about these kind of things on a more conceptual and abstract way. But yes, it is a very fast-paced game. It's played up close, and you're making a lot of decisions every single second of gameplay. It's a very densely packed game flow. And then you get moments of reprieve between bursts of action and between rounds. That's your downtime to process.
展開の早い駆け引きがずっと行われるっていうのが他のゲームではない面白さというか、ずっと技の応酬をずっと続けてられるみたいなところが他にないところかなと思ってて、そこが僕はすごく好きです。
The graphical jump between Virtua Fighters 1 and 2 is impressive though. They were definitely pioneers of 3D graphics. Like I said here, innovative series. Adding cutting edge features with each title. They were the front runners of like 3D graphic games. Alright, what you got for us? Ultimate Showdown's being updated to Revo, and the version 2.0 for those who already own the game on PlayStation.
やっぱりバーチャファイター自体がすごく大きな看板タイトルということもあって、とにかくすごく新しいものというか、すごくセンセーショナルなものを作ろうという意識がずっとあって、で、まあ細かいこととかってあんまりやってもしょうがないかなみたいな意識があったんですけど。
See, it's one of the more realistic games too, in terms of
新しいもの出せて
the martial arts that are being represented.
3年前ですかね。バーチャファイター e スポーツ
Now they not as fantastical with it.
遊んでくれてる人がたくさんいた。
Some might call that boring, but I think that grounded nature is what makes it more fun than most fighting games.
やっていこうというふうに今回のバランスアップデートっていうのにたどり着いたという感じです。
So you're gonna give us any details? Let's see.
遅いとはいえ、まあ、今回の場合
Alright, they did mention this in the previous trailer.
調整とか
Revival of popular
今まで
moves.
この技があったのになんか今回
Oh, techniques that were present in the original game that disappeared in Final
ところ
Showdown.
でもその新鮮さこの
See, I didn't.
気持ちを盛り上げてくれる
Final Showdown was the one I played the most of.
くれてるとこちら
My close friend at the time had the original Virtua Fighter 5, and I played a little bit with him on his Xbox 360, but Final Showdown was what we played a lot.
みんなが納得できる形に
We had a circle of friends, and we played a crap ton of this game on the Xbox 360.
世の中のこうプレイされた結果を
It
踏まえ
evolves according to the fighting patterns of the players. Yes, thank you.
ようなゲームになるのが
Not one that forces players to play how you want, but a game that evolves around how the players play. See, that's another thing that sets Virtua Fighter apart from other fighting games of the modern era is it doesn't bottleneck you into any particular playstyles. You can pick a character and play that character differently than someone else playing the same character.
内容に関して
There's so
は
much freedom.
お客さんからはもっとこうしてくれればいいのにって昔言われたことがいくつかあって
Things players were asking for in the past.
としてはこう見せたいから
More insistent on how they wanted to present
すごく
things.
意識して
Yeah, they're updating the hit effects, which is going to make the visual feedback more
見
clear.
たい
That's going to be
思われ
good.
てるところに関してはじゃあどうやったらそれが実現できるかっていうところに
And I get the feeling they're
フラットな状態で
experimenting with some stuff for the next Virtual Fighter,
形でやっちゃダメと思ってたことを結構やってる感じ
including many adjustments they had turned down in the past. Yep, like I said, being a bit more experimental. Get a feel for some things and see how the player base responds to it before they implement it in the next game.
テストプレイ重ねてるうちに
Several test play sessions.
だいぶ
Many of the players. So they got long-time players
なの
involved.
で、そこを新たに
That's good.
楽しめるようにする調整はできたんじゃないか
Something else a lot of fighting games do nowadays is that they focus so heavily on the new players that they alienate the old players. But it seems like in the case of Virtua Fighter, they are valuing and cherishing the long-time player base. Those of us who have been wanting a new Virtua Fighter for a long time, and those who had never stopped playing the game. Unfortunately, I did stop playing for a while just because it wasn't very accessible. My 360, I don't have Xbox Live anymore to play it on 360 online, and playing it online on PC is very difficult, and there's not a whole lot of people playing it, but Revo is going to bring a breath of fresh air to the game. Breath of life.
あるなっていう感じですね。
ゲームの
The core stands within its balance.
ゲームバランスとか技の性能ですとか、
Mhm.
ゲームの中身の部分だと思
Yeah,
う
this is a series where the gameplay is what it lives and dies on.
ちょっとでも変わることによってなんか動き出したっていうこれはもう終わらせちゃうつもりではなかったところが見せられればいい
Definitely is still kind of niche, but man, if it isn't my favorite fighting game that's still around. Mostly just because it hasn't alienated me like most of the long-running series have.
それで大復活を
She was solid comeback, work towards ranking again between the top of the
っていう
genre.
もの
I
が
hope so too, and I will be supporting
あ
it.
ると思っています。なのでこのタイトルは
For today when 3D versus
3D
fighting
格闘とい
will
えば
immediately bring Virtua Fighter to mind.
ところを
I mean, in my mind, it always did.
ポジションとして取っている
And especially after Soul Calibur kind of went away after 6, and DOA also went away after the 6th entry, and Tekken's 8th entry was so different that it pushed away a lot of us longtime fans of that series.
ありますね。
So, to me, Virtua Fighter is 3D fighting games incarnate. All the best traits of it.
次のものみたいなところとかは頑張って模索しているところで
Exploring what's next with the series. Yep, like I said,
反映してもらえるといいのかな。
experimenting a little bit.
そういったところに対してはプログラマーとかデザイナーとかそういった垣根を越えてどんどんこうやった方がいいんじゃないかみたいな風にみたいな形になってるといいのかな。
Excuse me for coughing a little bit. I was sick for a while, and this cough likes to linger.
休眠していた時期も長いので、これからどんどんこう触ってもらって広げていきたいというか復活していきたいなっていう気持ちはあります。
今
As
回
long as they do right by the
出すこと
fan base,
なるべく長く続
it'll
けて
be okay.
っていうのは純粋に思いますね。今回はバランスアップデートの担当になりましたけど、そうじゃなかったとしても見届けたいというか、シリーズの未来が見たいなっていうふうには思ってます。
The facelift that the game got, though, from the Like a Dragon studio, really huge improvement. Alright, so here's the main event. They released a Virtua Fighter. I'm tentatively calling it Virtua Fighter 6. I don't know what subtitle they're going to put onto it, but it's essentially just Virtua Fighter 6. So a pre-development concept video. Let's see what they're cooking for the new Virtua Fighter. Already, the graphics are looking amazing. Okay. Pre-development in-engine footage. Oh, okay, so it's not actual gameplay. So it's more of a proof of concept. Okay, got it. Kind of what they're wanting to achieve. Not gameplay itself, but a representation. As you can see, both characters are named Akira, but we know Akira looks different than this in the trailer that they released, the teaser. Right. The way the characters are blocking, so they're definitely going for more of a martial arts movie feel. Which looks solid. Wait, yo, hang on. So when you get like special counter hits, then you get like a cinematic follow-up? Okay. That's a nice way to have add visual flair without having to add crazy meter mechanics. Okay, I dig that. And then you can smash them into environments of the elements of the environment. Yo. So this is in-engine footage, so clearly, like I said, not gameplay itself, but as a proof of concept, they're showing that they're wanting it to feel more like a martial arts movie, the way that they're kind of going back and forth, trading blows. And like blocking and counterattacking, ducking. It definitely gives me martial arts movie vibes, and that is a nice direction. I'm not gonna lie. The way that they're showing like characters blocking specific attacks, having specific blocks for specific attack zones and stuff, and whether or not they're punching or kicking. Like, yes, give us those kinds of animations to really visually make it clear when like what's happening, right? And then like having moves where you'll like parry and then counter strike, but then being able to still have that reacted to. So like it's not guaranteed, the counter strike. It's not a guaranteed hit, you can still duck it. Also the quick quick text was a thing in the original game, so you can avoid down attacks. Like, I am digging the vibe. It feels so much like a martial arts movie. I'm loving it. Jeez, that looks so good. Like, okay, I'm trying not to get too terribly hyped because, like I said, this is not gameplay. So the gameplay in the final version is not going to be exactly like this, but it's just a representation of the direction what they're trying to achieve, right? Their vision. And so there was a leak, right? There was a leak that I was ignoring for a bit. I didn't want to treat it as legitimate, but it showed these two characters in the screenshot. And the UI looked the same, but it looked like there was a bar, like a meter, over here, underneath the health bars in the corners here. That's nowhere to be seen here. So I'm not sure how legitimate that screenshot leak is. It could be legit, or it could have just been a proof of concept, since, like I said, this is a conceptual, in-engine, kind of not pre-rendered, but pre-set up, right? Choreographed sequence. So this is probably just placeholder UI elements, just to give an idea of what they're looking for, which is very minimalistic. It's tucked away up in the corners, still clearly readable, right? You can read the health bars, see the character names. You see, it looks like round counter, so it looks like they're still going for, I see 3 pips there. So they're going for probably the classic 3 rounds to win, right? Best 3 out of 5 to win the match. Character, color-coded character portraits. And then the backgrounds for this is transparent, so it doesn't obfuscate the screen too much. But overall, the way the camera angles are moving, so they're trying to keep it from being too static left and right all the time, because even though they're called 3D fighting games, they're still semi 2D, the way that you're always on a horizontal plane. So allowing the camera to move a little bit, right? Angle to make the action look a little more dynamic. A good sidestep right there, showing that that's going to be, he ducked and then sidestepped, so movement's going to be clean. Right there, he had to dodge, because as you could tell, this 2-hit right here kind of broke his guard. It looked like he wouldn't have been able to guard after that, so he read the high and ducked it, and then sidestepped to get at better positioning and went for a counterattack that pushed him back. And then having presentation like this, right? Landing like special counter that has a cinematic angle follow-up attack. Like Tekken 7 had some of that, and then Tekken 8 has a lot more of that. That's good presentation. That's going to keep matches looking exciting without having to have all these crazy, heat mode type stuff or cinematic super attacks. And it's brief, right? Boom! Just one counterattack. Or one follow-up attack. That just looks clean. Boom! Knocked him into environmental stuff to give it that dynamic martial arts movie flair to it. Making the environment look like an actual part of what you're fighting, but without getting in the way of the gameplay too much from the looks of it. And then, it's solid. It's a solid concept. It really does, just to me, look like martial arts movie, the fighting game. And that's what Virtua Fighter needs to be. That's what's going to set it apart. You don't have to have characters chucking plasma around and shooting lasers. Let it be grounded in martial arts and let it have a martial arts movie vibe. And you're going to have something that will set itself apart. And then having contextual blocking animations for different types of attacks, that's going to set it apart because no other fighting game has that. It's going to keep it looking dynamic. This looks dynamic as heck. It honestly looks like something out of Seafood. Which, I've played a little bit on this channel here. I think I uploaded 2 videos for it. This looks like PvP Seafood, really. And I'm digging it. I am enjoying this direction. That is so solid looking. Yeah. No, dude, this is... Okay, this has got me really, optimistic about it. This has me super optimistic. I've been cautiously optimistic because most fighting games that I played for a long time, my 22, I would say, years at this time, most of them have let me down in the recent years, in their most recent entries. But this, if this is the vision they have for what they want to achieve, something similar to this, but with actual gameplay, I'm on board. This is looking good. Yeah. And, I've been avoiding seeing what other people have said about this, because I wanted to be as unspoiled as possible to get my raw opinions on this. But yeah, this looks so good. I can't wait to see how they're going to achieve this vision with actual gameplay. Man. Oh, okay, I gotta keep myself from getting too hyped because, man, it's so promising. I am going to be definitely watching this with great interest, in the words of Palpatine. All right. Well, that's all I got for this. This is looking really good. I can't wait to see what they have to show us through the development cycle and marketing. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. Does this look like a promising proof of concept for you? Just keep in mind it's not actual gameplay, so temper your expectations a little bit. The actual gameplay can't be always looking as choreographed as this did, but the bones of what they're trying to do, the skeleton of it looks good. And, you know, a good skeleton on this is gonna, it can make for a real sturdy product. So, yeah. And then even if I don't end up liking the direction it goes in ultimately, we still have Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, which is going to have solid netcode and PC. So, like, yeah, we're going to be able to play that forever, basically. If 6 doesn't end up good. But so far, with this, I am more cautiously optimistic than I was before. So, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you kind of looking forward to. What do you hope that they do with the new Virtua Fighter? Tentatively calling it Virtua Fighter 6 over here. You know, what do you think that they need to do with it in order to keep it interesting as a fighting game in the modern age, right? Or do you think it should stay more retro-centric to set itself apart from all the modern fighting games with all their changes to the core of their series? All right, that's all I got. I'm not going to ramble any further. So, yeah, if you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe because there's going to be a lot more Virtua Fighter on this channel, especially with Revo coming out. And I'll be covering this as they show us more material through the marketing cycle. All right, this has been Samuel Ray, the Scuff Doctor, and I will see you later. Have a good one.